This instructional video is for anyone who needs help navigating page 2 and 3 of your Elder-Emo-Embroidery PDF document. That was a mouthful. After purchasing it, the front page is the design that you'll cut out and use for tracing onto your chosen cloth. Page 2 and 3 are guides you can follow if you'd like to use the same stitch patterns that I used or use the colors that are reflected in the original artwork. Although, if you have your own colors or stitches in mind, do what you are moved to do. I'd love to see what variations that you all come up with. So if you do change anything up, post it on your socials, tag at pattern.patron if it's on Instagram, or you can simply include hashtag patternpatron in your caption. Okay, so let's start with materials. The first thing you'll see on page 3 is a list of the things you'll need to complete your embroidery, which are the first page printed out, a piece of cotton or linen cloth, an embroidery hoop. Please note that the current size of the design was made to fit a 6 by 6 inch hoop. You'll also need a needle, duh, and embroidery thread. If you want to use the colors I used, you can find them with these color codes. The color codes are from the brand DMC, which is a wildly popular brand of thread for embroidery. You should be able to find this brand in any sewing supply stores you have in your local area. If not, it's no big deal. Just choose what looks like the closest match. Also, I don't know if this is obvious or not, but the ×1 here in the table means that you only need to buy one of each color to complete your piece at this current size. Next, you'll need a disappearing ink marking pen. This is what you're going to use to trace the artwork onto your cloth. And last but not least, double-sided tape or sewing pins if you have them. Just use whatever you got. You'll have an easier time tracing the artwork if your cloth is attached to the paper underneath. So, quick announcement. Before tracing anything, please make sure there is about 2 fingers worth of cloth all the way around your hoop. This will make finishing your embroidery a much easier process. I did not realize that before making mine, and because of that, I had to use an alternative method for finishing my embroidery off the hoop, of which I've included the materials list and steps in a separate video. All right, continuing on. So your embroidery thread is made up of 6 individual strands, and you can separate those, which will either reduce or increase the thickness of the different elements in the design. I chose to separate my threads into clumps of 3, 2, and 1. I used a single strand of thread for here where it says before, the inside of the eye sockets and the skull, and this B1, the white fill of the teeth and skull. If you're wondering what these letter and number combinations mean, the letter correlates to the stitch pattern I used for the different design elements, and the number to the color of thread. I used 2 strands for the hair and eyebrows, the crossbones, the hearts, the pool of blood, and the black outline of the fractured skull and teeth. With 3 strands, I did the outlines and fills of the lettering and the checkered arcs. So if you're unfamiliar with the 3 stitches I used for this design, the back stitch, satin stitch, and stem stitch, the following clips are to show you how they're made. To make the back stitch, you're going to bring your needle up through the cloth from the back of the design, then back through. Then when you come back up, you want to come up a little ahead of where the last stitch went in. Then you'll come back to meet the stitch that's behind, and then you just repeat the process. For the satin stitch, you'll come up from the back and make a straight vertical line to the edge of the element that you want to fill. The more parallel you make these stitches, the smoother the result you're going to get. I would start the next stitch just to the left or right of where my last stitch ended, just to make the thread go further. Repeat until you filled the shape completely. The last one, the stem stitch, is perhaps the hardest one of the 3, but easy once you get the hang of it. You'll start your first stitch the same as you did with the back stitch, but on your second stitch coming back up, your needle will come through the cloth at about the midway point of the first stitch and just to the side of it. As you repeat those steps, you'll notice a nice twisted look begin to form. In the end, you should end up with something that looks something like this. Please leave a review if you found this instructional video useful, and of course, I would like to know what you think of the product. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your creative process, and remember to share your final masterpiece once it's complete.